Teka lang, bakit? Depende
Mga kababayan, ang pambansang awit ng Pilipinas.
Ang isang ng matawad, ngunit nagumpay na How prepared and equipped is St. Clair College for this shift in learning modality amidst the global pandemic? Parents, we are sincerely grateful to you for entrusting your children's education to the leading edge in online education system. Thank you for joining hands with us in the pursuit of lifelong learning and sustainable education for your children in spite of the daunting uncertainty and threats of this pandemic. Your support has been our source of inspiration to carry on. Ladies and gentlemen, with this, we are cordially inviting you to join us from this day until the 22nd of July. Together, let us learn and glean valuable insights from our keynote speakers as they share their expertise and the plans of St. Clair College for this school year. Before we proceed, allow me to present the webinar reminders and rules that we need to abide by throughout this event. Just keep in mind the SCC acronym. S stands for Stay Tuned until the last day of this webinar series. C, comment with respect to the school and to others. And C, convey your questions through our official Facebook page and our landline. How does our academic institution intend to address the pressing challenges of the new educational landscape? To give us an overview of the learning continuity plan of St. Clair College, let us welcome our competent faculty in senior high school, Mr. Trami Ortega.
Students, teachers, faculty, and administrators, and to all our viewers today, let me present to you the St. Clair College Learning Continuity Plan. Our institutional mission is to become the leading institution for professional development and the first and foremost provider of quality, affordable, and sustainable development education. Our mission is to provide quality and excellent global education for the total development of a responsible, innovative, skillful, and professional global workforce whose global values and dignity are beyond par. St. Clair College aims to form distinction and excellence in all the endeavors of the school community members. All stakeholders are envisioned to be imbued with enduring core values which define and shape the central beliefs and character of every genuine Clarion student, employee, and administrator within and beyond the premises of the school academic institution. Hereafter, the core values of St. Clair College: star that shines, truthfulness, compassionate, love, amiable, righteousness, and ever loyal. Once again, the St. Clair College Learning Continuity Plan in the time of COVID-19 pandemic. Apart from being the school for professional education, we are also the school of life skills. St. Clair College is not only a sports champion, we are also innovative in terms of our classrooms with 95 e-boards and electronic materials. Apart from that, we are also the leading school for professional development program. St. Clair College is also accredited by the Association of Christian Schools, Colleges, and Universities, the Royal Institution Singapore, the Federation of Association of Private School and Administrators. We are also accredited by the Caloocan Association of Private Schools and a Platinum Awardee of Acer Academy. And to provide the totality of the effectiveness of teaching and learning, we are also the 2019 PBA D-League Foundation Cup champion. Apart from professional development, we also do cater the School of Life Skills. The Life Skills for Life Success, guided by our very own Dean Henry S. Tinidero, which will be the next speaker after me. In times of fear and uncertainty, as evident difficulties brought by the COVID-19 pandemic, there is an evident need for the recalibration of teaching and learning environment that we built here at St. Clair College. Academic survival becomes one of the main issues of daily life. Many believe that flexible learning should take responsibilities and efforts to focus on preserving this academic year, the academic year 2020-2021. Hence, it is precisely one of the keys to survive this latest pandemic and all that entails in the short, medium, and long term from the potential crisis in the provision on educational landscape. It is also the survival on what we so-call the new normal. Furthermore, the utilization of the Education 4.0 is also an impeccable factor that is most considered in this learning continuity plan. Para sa ating mga magulang at mag-aaral, ang ating Learning Continuity Plan o ating tinatawag na LCP ay ibinilangkas ng ating mga profesional at daluguro upang magkaroon ng theoretical, conceptual at practical na paggamit sa buong taon. Ladies and gentlemen, let me present to you the St. Clair College Online Education System. A prime benefit of St. Clair College Online Education is that it ensures that you are in synchronization with modern learners. This enables the learner to access updated content whenever they want it or wherever they are. For teaching, it enables to communicate the message in a consistent way for our learners. Apart from the St. Clair College Online, we also have the St. Clair College Open Distance Learning Education. It is open for the Filipino students worldwide. St. Clair College also secures the continuity of the students in any geographic locations, and those who are affected by the pandemic and what we so-call the locally stranded individuals. As one of our enrollment frontliners, there has been arising concerns from our parents on how their children or our students will be able to continue their learning despite the fact that they were stranded on their localities. Ito ang madalas na tanong ng ating mga magulang kung paano nga ba mapagpapatuloy ng kanilang mga anak sa kabila ng distansya at pagkalayo sa ating paaralan. Ito ang pinakamalaking bahagi kung bakit natin ginawa at binalangkas ang ating Learning Continuity Plan, kasabay ng ating St. Clair College Online Education. Our St. Clair College Online Education is anchored by the FNET. The FNET and St. Clair College Online Education is the first wired college with 1.1 Gbps internet. It means that it secures the totality of interconnectivity between the school, the teachers, and our learners. The school's technological advancement provides solution for the flexible learning. Specifically, online platform is highly recommended, or what we so-call the Learning Management System, or FNET, to be the front line among the other modalities. It will evidently facilitate numerous interactive and remote activities that surely carry a wide range of interconnectivity. With the utmost dedication of St. Clair College on its mission and vision, we continue to develop our ICT infrastructure and equipment. The FNET will be our learning management system, where it comprises different interfaces. It is accessible not only for our students, but also with our administrators, the teachers, and also our parents. This is where our students, administrators, students, and parents will be able to access all the information they needed for the continuity of learning, wherein also our parents will be able to maximize the totality of this platform through the continuous recognition of different interfaces. We've provided also the conceptual framework for St. Clair College online education. Our online education started with our student online enrollment. With the presence of different modalities, our St. Clair College online education provides different modes of delivery for teaching and learning. First of all, will be the most available for everyone, or the most preferred of our Department of Education and other learning institutions. That is what we call the online learning. Online learning comprises two modalities, which is the synchronous and the asynchronous learning modality. The synchronous learning modality is where the students and teachers are doing live teleconferencing or video conferencing through our FNET, or our learning management system. This is where our parents can closely monitor their children whenever they do or conduct their online classes. It also gives the prime benefit for our parents for them to lively and to live stream with our teachers whenever their children are on the learning management. The synchronous platform for online learning is also our most preferred online learning due to the monitoring system that our parents will be able to maximize, and also our teachers will be able to closely monitor the learning and also the emotion and the feelings of our students during our learning times. Apart from the synchronous, we also have our asynchronous type of learning. We never stop in learning. With our asynchronous mode of learning, our students will be able to access our recorded videos through our different platforms that could best support and outsource our educational resources. Another will be our face-to-face learning, but it is with the IATF, or the Interagency Task Force recommendation and clearance. Apart from that, we also have our distance learning. Our distance learning is provided and guided by the Enhanced Modular Learning and the mass media. For Enhanced Modular Learning, the school will provide different modules that are subject for readings for our students. And also, it has the timetables for our parents to closely monitor on what are the different axes and what will be the next step for our students for them to read and to support their future errands in their subjects. Apart from that, we also have the mass media. In support with IBC 13 and other mass media platforms, the school will synchronize itself to the different mass media purposes and companies for us to send the links and other information for our students, teachers, and parents. We provided you the conceptual framework of our St. Clair College online education. So it starts with the flexible learning and guided with the different learning modalities like the online learning, face-to-face, distance learning. St. Clair College Online Education also provides and promotes different open educational resources. We have the FNET, the Exceed Education, the Code.org, Discovery Education, Feed the Monster, we have the Kit School, Music Crowd, the One Course, Polyop, we also have the Quizlet, Smart History, and also the YouTube. Apart from FNET, we also have the Marshall Cavendish Education. We have the Century Tech, we have the Class Dojo, and also the Google Classroom. For St. Clair College Online Education open resources, we have our ebooks, e-storybooks, e-worksheets, and e-activities. We have also the Enhanced Modular Learning or Learning Module, wherein it is a tool that provides course materials in a logical, sequential order, guiding students through the content and assessments. In order to have the specified instruction which can assert the formatted text, files, web links, discussion topics, assignments, tests and quizzes, and soon assessments. Apart from utilizing our technological advancement, it is something that we've used for us to promote the life skills. So the life skills, it is an academic practice to reshape education. For us to have a good and enhanced learning, not only with academics, but also in terms of life basis, which is empowered and mentored by Professor Henry S. Tenedero. At St. Clair College, we also have the new normal protocol against the COVID-19 based on the agency and the national government. There are also school pandemic-related preparation. The school, administrators, staff, and teachers shall engage one another in raising pandemic awareness through the availability of the following items in school. We do monitor through thermal scanners, hand sanitation, cleaning the tools, materials, or disinfecting that may be used using bleach, booth bath, and spray tank. We also have appropriate face masks or shield and gloves, providing multivitamins and capsules or tablets and syrups for our school personnel and school children. We also do printing of COVID-19 and health measures information materials and printing of materials and provision of supplies for enhanced module learning for learners, teachers, and parents. We may never return to the old norms that we are accustomed to with COVID-19, the pandemic that we are experiencing right now. We are faced with adapting to what we so-call the new normal. We all agree that online distance learning or transnational distance education is a way of moving on during the times of crisis. We just have to be ready for any change in policies guided by the Interagency Task Force and the Department of Education. Once again, we would like to welcome our students, teachers, and parents with St. Clair College Online Education and being guided as the School of Life Skills. At St. Clair College, we are always ready.
Thank you, Mr. Chami Ortega, for the comprehensive discussion of the Learning Continuity Plan of St. Clair College. At this point, I would like to invite our senior high school principal to introduce our keynote speaker for today. Please welcome Ms. Maria Rebecca Palad.
Thank you, Ms. Ruth. I am privileged and deeply honored to introduce to you our first keynote speaker on our 3 days webinar series here in St. Clair College from June 20 to 23, 2020. Our speaker adheres that with a powerful thinking mindset, we must break down the walls of ignorance, myth, and complacency in our midst, and in their place, help build bridges of new knowledge, new structures, new methodologies, new ways of thinking, doing, and being. It begins with education with thyself, at home, and in the school community. As a human development advocate, he firmly believes that we should lead, teach, and learn beyond the curriculum by educating the compassionate heart, not just the thinking mind, and develop human essential skills, not just memorized learning. Our speaker graduated from the Faculty of Arts and Letters of the University of Santo Tomas and acquired his master's degree in development management at the Asian Institute of Management and took a special program on multiple intelligences for professional education leaders at the Harvard University Graduate School for Education. He served as the 2015 president of the Philippine Marketing Association. He is also currently a proud affiliate and original entrepreneurs of the Go Negosyo and Kapatid Mentor Me entrepreneurship programs of the Department of Trade and Industry. He is an acknowledged international educator, training facilitator, inspirational and motivational speaker. He is also the chairman of the University of Santo Tomas Alumni Association, president, Education for All Development Center, founder of the Lead, Teach, Learn Beyond Curriculum Advocacy, director for Asia Pacific International Learning Styles Network, founder, Life Skills for Life Success Advocacy. Our speaker also believes that success is a combination of IQ, talino, EQ, puso, and DQ, diskarte. He is an educator by heart and passion. He believes that between hope and despair, education is the great equalizer. Our dear parents, let us all welcome the Dean of St. Clair College Life Skills for Life Success program on this first episode talk, from face-to-face classroom learning to heart-to-heart home learning. Mga kababayan, the international speaker, Dr. Henry S. Tiridero.
Good morning St. Clair College, good morning Philippines, and good morning to our listeners, televiewers, and those wanting to know more about what life skills is all about. I'm so happy to be transitioning from a face-to-face learning to what we may call as the digital platform. I always believe that the platform is relative, but what's more important is what is the murmurings of your heart. Education at this point in time should never stop. Pandemic or non-pandemic, education, especially for our children, should continue. So ako'y nagagalak at natutuwa-tuwan-tuwa na nagkaroon tayo ng pagkakataon na magkausap sa araw na ito upang talakayin ang napakamahalagang punto para higit natin maunawaan ang ating mga anak kung paano sila mag-aral. Hindi, sabi nga natin, walang boring subject. Any subject can be taught as long as there is a connect between the teaching style and learning style of either the teacher or the parents. When I developed life skills for life success before the lockdown, I've always believed that the students should learn beyond the curriculum. That's why I developed the advocacy, Lead, Teach, and Learn Beyond the Curriculum, by focusing on the compassionate heart, hindi lang thinking mind, by developing what we call essential or soft skills, hindi lang academic skills. Because learning to me should be more than just mere memorization. Because what you have memorized may not exactly be what you have comprehended. So kailangan meron siyang connect, yung learning sa classroom o sa bahay sa nangyayari sa ating pang-araw-araw na kabuhayan. And pandemic COVID-19 is no excuse for us not to stop learning. We are transitioning, and any transition necessitates change. And change is important for us to see the beauty of life itself. I, for one, have to transition. I am very comfortable with face-to-face learning, face-to-face meeting, face-to-face encounters. But with this kind of situation wherein we find ourselves in right now, the question I have to conform with is either I shape up or I will perish. What a beautiful episode in human history to be still alive during this pandemic learning period. We're given the chance to imagine how we can create our new normal, our new world. We're given the greatest opportunity to exemplify values we have learned during these 3 or 4 months of lockdown period. So many values that should not be taken for granted, that should not be taken easily or cast aside, because at the end of the day, when the pandemic is finally gone, we look back with fond memories and think and realize that indeed we are exposed to many learnings that can enrich, uplift, and inspire human life. So, for this particular episode, I will be tackling learning styles, multiple intelligence, and emotional quotient. I define success to be a combination of 3 things in life: IQ, talino, EQ, puso, at DQ, diskarte. Marami ngayon ang nagdidiskarte sa buhay para mabuhay. Ang sabi nga sa isang nabasa ko, sa 2020 raw, sa pagninegosyo o sa pag-araw-araw na buhay, kapag ikaw ay mabuhay, itong taon na to, maswerte ka na. Bonus na yung mga coming years na dating pa. Kaya huwag tayo mangamba. Pag tayo mangamba, nahihinto ang agos ng buhay. Nahihinto ang ating pag-aaral, ang ating pagnanais na marami pang malaman tungkol sa buhay dahil lamang may pandemic. Sabi nga natin bilang Kristiyano, nothing happens by chance. Everything is part of an interconnectedness, divine ordained. Who would ever imagine 4 months ago, we were basking in the glory of busyness in life until we realize how serious this COVID-19 is. Kaya ngayon, tayo ay nagta-transition. Tayo ay kumukuha ng platform, gaya na sinabi ni Professor Trami kanina, na dinathala namin na ang St. Clair College ay patuloy na magbibigay ng hindi lang edukasyon. Pipilitin namin magkapagdulot ng quality education sa ating mga mag-aaral, lalong-lalo na sa mga magulang na umaagapay sa ating mga anak. Minsan sa isang balita ako'y nangamba at sabi ng magulang, hindi po ako pwedeng makapagbigay ng tulong sa aking anak sapagkat ako ko'y mismo ay hindi nakapag-aral. Nakakalungkot, kabilang banda. Pero kung wawariin mo, tama. Kasi nasanay tayo ng education ay nakikita natin lamang sa loob ng silid-aralan. Pero ngayon, ang edukasyon, ang tunay na edukasyon ay hindi lamang makikita sa loob ng silid-aralan, kundi sa ating pamamahay, sa ating pakikitungo sa ibang tao, at higit sa lahat kung paano natin isauso ang mga natutunan natin during this particular quarantine or lockdown period. So, ang life skills po ay napakaraming aspeto niya. Bilang panimula sa episode na to, hindi ko po tatalakayin ang mga samot-sari ng life skill, bagkus tatalakayin ko muna ang napakasimpleng bagay kung paano ba talaga natin malalaman ang estilo ng pag-aaral ng ating mga anak. Ang tawag po dyan ay learning styles. May kanya-kanya po tayo mga learning styles. Hindi lahat ay nag-aaral habang tahimik ang kapaligiran. Marahil nakikita niyo sa inyong mga anak ngayon nag-aaral habang mumumuya, habang kumakain. May mga bata nag-aaral habang nakikinig sa music. Meron pa dyan nag-aaral pagkatapos mag-TikTok. So, iba't ibang klaseng pamamaraan ang pag-aaral. Ngayon, kapag hindi konektado ang iyong estilo sa estilo ng iyong anak, magkakaroon kayo ng tinatawag na conflict o communication gap. Kasi pinipilit mong yung gusto mo ang masunod, hindi kung paano matuto ang iyong anak. Okay? So, babaliin din natin yung sinasabi na entitlement. Porket anak kita, kailangan sumunod ka sa akin. Dahil iba nga po ngayon ang pamamaraan ng pag-aaral. At ito pong mga bagay na ibibigay ko sa inyo ay bahagi ng isang malawak na pag-aaral sa siyensya. Meron po siyang valid at reliable basis for us to say na meron mga batang gusto makita yung detalye bago yung pagkalahatan o yung analytic before global. Meron mga batang gusto makita yung forest bago yung trees. In fact, sa isang pamilya, marahil ang mag-asawa na nagsasama na po ilang taon ay meron silang diametrically opposite ways of doing things. Kasi sabi ka po natin sa mag-asawa, opposite poles attract. Okay? Karamihan ng mga successful relationship, meron pong mga opposite poles na hindi kailangan. Na kahit sa sariling anak, kung 4 ang anak nyo, pustahan tayo. Meron dyan iba-iba pa ang kanilang estilo ng pag-aaral. So there's no one fitting, no size fitting all. Hindi ka pupunta ng isang mall at sasabihin mo, anak ko, nakalimutan ko yung sukat ng paa ng anak ko. Kailangan bibili ako ng sapatos o hula na lang. Then, they may come from the same DNA, but the DNA will say that people have different learning styles. People have different work styles, so to speak. So, yung ating pag-aaralan na yung araw na ito ay pwede rin ihalimpulan sa kung paano mag-estilo ang mga trabahante sa larangan ng trabaho. So, mga kaibigan, kung meron kayong mga katanungan at ito po ay ating i-adjust, sundan lang po natin ang ating module sa araw na ito. So, both face-to-face learning, classroom learning, sabi sa balita, ang tugon ko, no problem. If there's no face-to-face classroom learning, then let's shift to a more powerful learning, which is heart-to-heart home learning. Obligado tayo ngayon mag-quarantine. Obligado tayo ngayon mag-stay sa bahay. Obligado tayo ngayon pataguhin ang edukasyon sa ibang plataforma. Bawal ang face-to-face because of the COVID-19, at hindi na nangangulugan. Bawal ang heart-to-heart learning. Real learning is not a product of the cognitive or your brain thinking alone. Real learning is heart-to-heart learning. Napakahalaga ng puso sa puso. We will get to appreciate more if we see the value of heart-to-heart learning. So, as we continue to shift the key learning areas during this pandemic period, we will be focusing only on 3 learning philosophies. Number 1, learning styles. Ibig sabihin on how learners learn, especially when they're exposed to a new and difficult subject. Number 2, highlighting the fundamental fact that our children are multiple intelligent. Ito yung pag-aaral na ginawa ng Harvard University na nag-highlight na tayong lahat, bata man o matanda, ay may tinatawag na multiple intelligences. At ang pangatlo, na napakahalaga, dahil palagi kayo nakikita, napakahalaga kung paano mo i-manage ang iyong emotional quotient or emotional intelligence. Di ba sinasabi nga, familiarity breeding contempt. Pag palagi mo kasama, mas malaki ang posibilidad na kayo'y magkakaroon ng conflict. Paano mo siya maiwasan? Because when emotional intelligence is not properly calibrated, and if it is not properly controlled, then it might cause miscommunication or communication gaps among the family members. So let's start with the focus on number 1. May mga katanungan po ako. Sagutin nyo lang at later on, i-validate natin kung anong klase ang pag-aaral o estilo ng pag-aaral ng anak mo. Siya po ba'y analytic, left brain, o global, right brain? Ano po ibig sabihin mo? In the world of learning styles, we have people who learn by seeing the parts before the whole. In the face-to-face classroom learning, ito yung gustong seryoso ang teacher. Gusto kapag magbigay ng lesson ay sunod-sunod. Meron naman mga bata sa classroom noon na gusto nila ang teacher ay magpatawa muna. Na ang teacher ay magbibigay ng isang napakalaking ehemplo na nakafocus muna sa para magising yung mga brain cells na tinatawag. Ang tawag ko po dyan ay global learning. So, sa learning styles, does your child prefer to learn with or without background music? Okay? Ito pong mga bagay nito ay nangyayari. Ang gagawin po natin ngayon, i-explain ko po sa inyo yung scientific basis on why learners behave the way they behave. Okay? It could be behavioral, it could be genetics, or it could be because of several factors within the learning styles model that we're using. So isa sa mga elemento of the 21 elements, meron diyang siyam na elemento na very common across different cultures. In other words, hindi lang sa Pilipinas, pati yung mga bata nag-aaral sa galing sa ibang bayan, ay nakaka-experience ng ganitong elemento ng learning styles. Una nga po doon, yung sa larangan ng music. Does your child prefer to learn with or without background music? Depende pa sa klase ng music. Meron gusto makinig sa soft music. Meron namang gusto makinig sa hard or fast music. Okay? So, regardless of the kind of music that they would prefer to listen to, ano yung gusto nilang mapakinggan? Gusto ba nilang makinig? Or gusto nilang tahimik ang kapaligiran? Okay? So, lalagyan nyo po ng note siya kung ano yung sagot nyo, and later on, i-analyze natin kung ano ibig sabihin kapag marami ka nito, o marami kang global, marami kang analytic. Number 2 point, does your child prefer to learn under bright or dim light? Pag sinabing bright light, ang ibig sabihin po niyan, gusto nyo ba mag-aral ang kanyang ilaw ay fluorescent, natural light, maliwanag. Oh, may anak ba kayo lang gusto mag-aral lampshade lang? Okay? Incandescent, hindi maliwanag. Okay? So, paano siya na-inspire mag-aral sa larangan ng elemento ng ilaw? Okay? Gusto niya ba ng bright light or dim light? By the way, sa mga itatanong ko po, posible kayo magsabi ng lahat o pwede sabihin pareho. Pero dahil i-analyze natin mamaya yan, pumili lang po kayo ng isa sa bawat tanong ko kung ano yung tingin yung palagi o higit na ginagawa ng inyong anak kapag siya ay nag-aaral. Okay? So review number 1. Number 1, music. Gusto niyo ba mag-aral na may background music o gusto niya ng tahimik? Number 2, ilaw. Anong klase ang ilaw gusto niya? Fluorescent light, maliwanag, natural light, o gusto niyo ba mag-aral ang gamit lamang ay incandescent, lampshade, or dim light? Number 3, does your child prefer to study using a formal or informal format? Ano pa yung formal? Ito pa yung kadalasan na ginagamit ang typical table, typical chair. Okay? Study table, dining table, ito po yung formal. Ang informal design format, ang sinasabi natin, ito po yung mga alin tulad ng sofa bed, couch, bed, or ano pa man. Okay? Under the tree, or may throw pillow. Okay, so dalawang bagay po palag-aaral. Formal or informal design format. Okay? So papansinin niyo po. Number 4, sa larangan ng emotionality. Does your child prefer to learn in a multiple or one at a time? Okay? Meron dapat gawin. Ano sa palagay niyo ang estilong ginagawa ng anak niyo? Siya ba'y one at a time? Hindi niya pagsasabay-sabayin ang mga dapat pag-aralan? Or siya po ay multiple starter? Magsisimula dito, ihinto, gagawa na naman ng palibago, magsisimula na naman, sabay-sabay. Sa pagnanais na matapos lahat, tapusin lahat. Pero meron naman gustong isa-isa. Marami siyang dapat gawin, pero ang kanyang estilo ay one at a time learner. Okay? So let's review from the top. Review natin from the top. So naitanong ko na sa larangan ng music. Gusto niya ba na may background music, regardless of the kind of music, or gusto niya ng tahimik ang kanyang kapaligiran kapag siya ay nag-aaral? Number 2, larangan ng ilaw. Gusto niya ba ng bright light o gusto niya mag-aral ng dim light? Ang bright light, example niyan ay fluorescent light or natural light. Ang dim light, example niyan ay yung incandescent light, yung light bulb. Okay, number 3, gusto niyo ba mag-aral gamit ang formal or informal design furniture? Ang formal design ay typical chair, typical table. Informal design could be a sofa bed, it could be a couch, it could be a rocking chair, or it could be under the tree. Next is, siya po ba ay multiple or one at a time starter learner? Maraming gagawin. Gusto niya bang ang kanya bang estilo ay isa-isa? Or gusto niya bang ang estilo ay sabay-sabay? Okay. Next, does your child prefer to learn alone or with a group? Kung minsan napapansin natin, meron tayong anak na gusto siya lang mag-isa para makapag-focus sa task at hand. Meron naman anak na kailangan may kasama siya palagi para matuto ng isang bagay. So, ang tawag po sa learning styles diyan ay sociological preference. Ano ang kanyang sociological preference? Alone or learning with a group? Next question. Ano yung kanyang perceptual modality? Kapag nag-aaral ang inyong anak, does your child prefer to learn in an auditory, visual, tactile, or kinesthetic. By the term itself, it means that the visual learner learns easily by seeing. Auditory learners learn easily by hearing. Tactile learners learn easily by manipulatives using the hands. And kinesthetic learners learn easily by moving their bodies. They move a lot. Okay? So, kadalasan sa classroom learning noon, ang ginagamit natin ay auditory. Lecture. Thinking that learning is best retained or best absorbed when it is done auditorily. Hindi po. Because biologically, learners, adult or young people, are visual in nature. That's why, in my case, I'm a visual learner. I cannot help but gesture a lot. Because that's how I will explain, that's how I will manifest the emotions that go with learning. So, alamin po nyo, ano po yung estilo niya. So, quick review of the first, okay? So, una, music with or without background music. Number 2, light. Bright light or dim light. Okay? Bright light is fluorescent light. Natural light. Dim light is the use of incandescent or lampshade. Number 3, formal or informal design furniture. Typical chair, typical table, or informal couch, sofa bed, rocking chair under the tree. Next is persistence. Is your child learning style multiple or one task at a time? Maraming dapat gawin. Anong estilo niya? Sabay-sabay o isa-isa? Okay. With the end in mind, of course, of finishing the task or the task at the hand. Number 4, sociological preference. Does your child prefer to learn alone? Gusto niya bang palagi nag-iisa? Or does your child prefer to learn with a group, with a pair or a group? Hindi siya makapag-aral na nag-iisa. Kailangan meron siyang kasaway pag-aral. Okay. And then, the perceptual modalities. Sa pansin mo, ano ang anak mo? Siya ba ay visual, learns by seeing, auditory, learns by hearing, tactile, learns by moving the hands, or kinesthetic, learns by moving the body or moving a lot. Okay? So these are the preferences. Next is we go intake. Intake means drinking, smoking, or eating. Okay? Lalo ngayon, kapag napapasin nyo, yung mga anak nyo palaging humingi ng pagkain, umu-order sa labas. Okay? Hindi makapag-aral ng walang minumuya o kinakain. This is part of learning styles. So does your child prefer to learn with or without? Okay? Pag with, mas na-encourage siya mag-aral kapag siya ay may kinakain o may ginumuya. Without intake, hindi mo nakakain yan, pero pagkatapos niya mag-aral, doon siya kakain ng marami. Doon niya nakainin yung kanyang reserve energy na talagang kailangan punuin ng sustansya. So learn with or without intake. We go now to the mobility aspect. Okay? Does your child prefer to learn with more or less mobility? Napapansin natin may mga anak tayo na habang nag-aaral, pagkasimula, ihinto, maglalakad, o pupunta ng CR, o may gagawin isang bagay. Meron naman, nakafocus sa work at hand. Tatapusin niya yun. Kahit naiihi na siya. He or she will finish it to the end. So may dalawang aspeto. More or less mobility when it comes to absorbing learning. And number 9, yung final natin. yung huling yugto in understanding the learning styles of your children. Does your child make decision in an impulsive or reflective manner? Paano siya mag-design? Biglaan, impulsive, o hinay-hinay, reflective? Meron siya assignment na isa-submit bukas. Gagawa siya ng mga draft. Paano siya mamili ng i-report niya? Siya ba'y reflective, hinay-hinay, nagmumuni-muni muna, or siya ba ay impulsive, biglaan ko mag-design, biglaan ko magbigay ng decision. Ito na, okay na, bahala na si Batman. May mga ganyang anak. So, what I have covered with you, my dear friends, of the 21 elements under the learning styles model, particularly what I call the done and done learning styles model, we have 9 elements that are multiculturally valid and reliable. And these are the things I have asked you. So we will review before we move on to the next topic. So, number 1, does your child prefer to learn with or without background music? Number 2, does your child prefer to learn using bright light or dim light? Number 3, does your child prefer to study in a formal or informal format or setting? Is your child a multiple starter or a one task at a time learner? Next, does your child prefer to learn alone or with a pair or team? Saan siya mas komportable? Does your child prefer to learn in an auditory, in a visual, in a tactile, or kinesthetic manner? And does your child prefer to learn with or without intake? Does your child prefer to learn with more or less mobility? And finally, does your child make a decision in an impulsive or reflective manner? In case you just tuned in now and you have some questions, just write your comment and we will gladly address them later on during our question and answer forum. Okay? So yan po ang mundo ng learning styles. Sinasabi natin that there is no boring subject. Any subject can be taught as long as there is a match between the teaching style of the parent or the teacher, whether in a blended, heart-to-heart, face-to-face, at-home learning, okay? So regardless of the platform you are using, it is not what you teach, but how you teach what you know. And learning, absorption, and retention will largely depend on how you penetrate the learning process according to the different learning styles of your students. So that's the world of learning styles. Learning styles, the done and done model that we're using, is a product of more than 30 years of academic research. More than 30 years of academic research, hindi lang sa Estados Unidos, kundi internationally. So therefore, it is not a fashion. It is not just the in thing for now. It is backed up by more than 30 years of academic successful research internationally. Okay? So, moving on to our next topic. Okay? Let me ask you a fundamental question. Lahat pantay-pantay, all things being considered on an equal basis, would you say that your child is a henyo? Sasabihin mo bang anak mo ay may taglay na henyo? Sa isang environment na halos pantay-pantay, economic, IQ, whatever. All this given equal consideration, let me tell you this. Your child has genius potentials in more ways than one. ang inyong anak ay may taglay na talino, ay may taglay na pagiging henyo in more ways than one. And let me cite to you few examples of people who are now basking in the glory of success in all fronts, financially, giving, in all aspects. Probably the person that first comes to my mind is Bill Gates. Bill Gates of Microsoft. He was a known dropout of Harvard University. Another guy who gave us Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, was also dropped out of Harvard University. And many other people lording in the pinnacle of success who were not exactly academic success stories. There were academic failures, and yet they were able to redefine the meaning of success. Because traditionally, success in the world of intelligence or IQ is always focused only on two domains. Kadalasan ang binibigyan nating halaga ng pagpupugay o ng medalya sa eskwelahan ay yun magagaling lamang sa larangan ng IQ. Nasaklaw lamang ang dalawang edukasyon, ang dalawang domains. Kapag ang anak mo ay magaling sa language, kapag ang anak mo ay magaling sa matematika, kadalasan sila ay binibigyan ng parangal sa eskwelahan, honor student. Pero ang tanong ko, in a class of 40 or 50 students, how many students are performing within this purview of logical math and linguistic? Not even more than 10. So only 10 people are given the prominence of academic recognition. What about the rest, the 40? Because to my mind, the purpose of education is not only to educate the few, but to educate all. So that sooner or later, when they go to the realm of the real world of work, bawat isa ay may karapatan o may kadahilanan makita ang kanyang gusto, trabaho, ayon sa kanyang abilidad o ayon sa kanyang intelligence. So these are the intelligence that the kind of abilities that many successful people are now possessing, are now lording it out in the world of business success. But in the world of the pandemic, we are redefining the very essence of what is a successful life. Sa ngayon, nakita natin na matatalinong tao ay yung mga taong tumutulong sa kapwa-tao. Na hindi lamang sa lapi ang magbibigay hugis o halaga sa iyong karakter bilang tao, kung hindi yung iyong compassion, iyong kindness, iyong pakikipagkapwa-tao. Nakita po natin yan sa panahon ng lockdown na yung mga frontliners na bawat isa sa atin, yung mga sumusunod sa mga alituntunin ng basic health protocols, sa aking pakiwari, sila ay may sapat na talino, hindi lamang yung magagaling sa lengguwahe o yung magagaling sa matematika. Itong multiple intelligence ay ginawa ni Dr. Howard Gardner. Pag-aaral na ginawa ni Dr. Howard Gardner in 1983 na sinabi niya katalinuhan ay hindi lamang saklaw ng mga magagaling sa language at magagaling sa logical math. So meron siyang dinevelop na 9 intelligences. So marahil, pasinin niyo po, marahil ang anak niyo ay hindi man magaling sa language, pero meron siya isa sa mga siyam na katalinuhan na sinasabi. Tingnan natin, does your child fit into any or all of the intelligence I just mentioned? Number 1 is linguistic. magaling sa pananalita, magaling sa pagsulat, okay? Linguistically gifted. Meron dyan yung mga logical math, magaling sa mathematical formula, at magaling sa mga bagay-bagay na kailangan ng logical math thinking. Pero meron din tayo mga anak na magaling sa musika. Marami tayo nakita ngayon sa mga videos, etc., na sa Facebook, yung mga ginamit yung kanilang talino para maging innovative, para makakuha ng suporta, etc., mga musically inclined people. At likas sa atin yung mga Pilipino na magaling umawit. Okay? So, pangatlong intelligence yun, yung pagiging musical. Merong anak na magaling sa sports, bodily kinesthetic. Okay? Habang nag-aaral, nag-TikTok, habang gusto niya ma-inspire, siya ay ginagalaw yung katawan, bodily kinesthetic. Okay, naalala ko dati merong PBA player na in-interview, naging most valuable player. Sabi nung nag-i-interview, you are our most valuable player. Well, thank you very much. You played very well, thank you very much. Your team played very well. Oh, thank you very much. And then the next question, how did you find the game? Thank you very much. Okay? Hindi niya nakuha yung tanong, pero magaling siya maglaro. In fact, napakalaki na kanyang sweldo comparable sa mga junior executive. So ginagamit niya yung bodily kinesthetic para makita yung likas niyang galing sa larangan ng sports. Meron din naman katalinuhan na tawag ay visual spatial. Ito yung mga batang mahilig sa arts. Hindi ma-arts, pero mahilig sa arts. Mga visual artists. Tahimik lamang. Pero pag nakita mo, habang nakikinig sa iyo, habang nakikinig sa teacher, sila yung nag-drawing. Yan po'y katalinuhan. Visual arts is a special intelligence. In fact, yan po ang ginamit panimula ng Harvard nung dinevelop nila yung tinatawag na multiple intelligence. Nakita nila na yung meron mga bata na i-express ang sarili in a many splendor thing using the world of art. So magagaling sila Da Vinci, Michelangelo, at marami pa pong magagaling na mga visual artists. Next intelligence is interpersonal. Ito yung mga batang magaling makisama. May papel naman, manghihingi pa sa iba. Kumukuha ng pansin in a very positive way. Kukuha niyo ng pansin mo because that will boost their internal self-esteem. They always love to be loved. Okay? In a psychological study, sinabi nga na ito yung mga bata naghahanap ng kalinga na pagmamahal na hindi na nakikita sa kanilang mga tahanan. Magaling makisama. They can easily make friends. Ito yung interpersonal. Opposite po niyan ay intrapersonal. Ito yung ating mga anak na tahimik lamang. Tahimik, hindi masalita. Pero kapag nagtanong ka, magugulat ka sa lalim ng kanilang kasabihin sa iyo. Napakalalim nila mag-analyze sa mga bagay-bagay na nangyayari sa kapaligiran. At kadalasan na hindi mo isipin na, oh my goodness, this child of mine has a deep kind of intelligence. Okay? So, interpersonal. Yung isa namang intelligence ay naturalist. Ang naturalist intelligence, ito po yung mga mahilig sa kalikasan, mahilig sa climate change. Binibigyan halaga ang ating kapaligiran. And finally, meron po tayong mga bata na existentialist kung tawagin. Ito po'y mahilig magmuni-muni. Kadalasan ito po'y mahilig mag-meditate. Kadalasan ito po ay mahilig sa spirituality, na define nila ang kanilang buhay based on how they look at things from a spiritual perspective. Ito yung nagsasabi ng COVID-19 is a blessing, not a curse. Because it is allowing us to look deeper into our being, to become introspective, to look within, and find meaning to whatever is happening in our midst today. na actually they will even say what is happening now is not a tombstone, but a stepping stone for us to understand more the value of humanity, for us to understand the value of not just being a human being, but being a human person. So malalim ang kanilang pananaw. Kadalasan sila po yung nagiging mga pastor, mga pare, mga madre. They thrive in knowing that they exist not only in the physical realm, but they exist in a world of spirituality. So with all these intelligences, with all these abilities, again, backed up by research done by Dr. Howard Gardner, we are now beginning to believe that intelligence is a many-splendor thing. Na kadalasan, ang tagumpay ay dun lamang sa mga tao magaling sa language at logical math. Ngayon po, maraming mga entrepreneurs, nagsulputan ang mga innovativeness sa mga Pilipino para lamang mabuhay. Ginagamit nila yung kanilang multiple intelligence, yung kanilang mga ability to cook, ability to provide, not only to survive but to thrive in pandemic times. This is the hallmark of humanity. Going beyond understanding that you are not only a physical being, you can live, but unless you have life in life, it's nothing. It's gonna be kulang. So, yan po. So, learning styles, understanding how learners learn, multiple intelligence, understanding the different abilities, the different intelligences of our children. Kaya ang batang wala pong bobo. Huwag yung tawagin anak yung bobo. Tamad meron. Bakit tamad ang anak nyo? Kasi yung estilo niya ay hindi niya nababalidate. Gusto mo palaging gawin niya ang bagay ayon hindi kung paano niya gustong gawin, kundi paano mo siyang gustong matuto. If your students are not learning the way you want them to learn, then teach them the way how they want to learn. It is not what they learn, it's more of how they learn it. In this pandemic time, we're given the chance to closely monitor how our children learn. In this pandemic time, you'll get to understand, ay anak ko pala magaling kumanta, yung anak ko pala magaling sumayaw, yung anak ko pala magaling mag-drawing, yung anak ko pala magaling sa sports, yung anak ko pala concerned sa climate change, yung anak ko pala ay malalim mag-isip. Hindi man siya logical, math, or linguistic, you bank on the talino, you bank on the ability. Okay? So do not compare children. Hindi porket magaling itong batang ito sa ibang intelligence, hindi po. Sa aking pakiwari, magbabago na ang ating realization that education is a many-splendor thing. Na lahat ng tao ay may taglay na henyo. Ng pag-aaral ay hindi kailangan mangyari sa loob ng silid-aralan, kundi sa pakikitungo natin sa iba't ibang klaseng tao. Mas gusto ko pa nga, makahulubilo ang janitor lang na tinatawag natin, kaysa yung mga tao na nakakurbata, nakabarong, na akala mo, wari mo kung sino sila. Iba na po ngayon. It's opening, kaya nga it's more than face-to-face. It is more of learning heart-to-heart, puso sa puso. Paano mo gamitin ang puso mo? Paano mo gamitin ang pakikitungo mo sa sarili mo, sa ibang tao? And you cannot give what you don't have. Who we are today, kung ano man tayo ngayon, ito ay compendium kung paano tayo pinalaki ng ating mga magulang, kung paano tayo hinubog ng ating mga paaralan, kung paano tayo hinubog ng ating mga pakikisama. You cannot camouflage who you are. Who you are is a summary of the values you learn in your life. And kapag ikaw ay lumabas dyan, kapag ikaw ay lumayo dyan, mawawala ka. So go back. Go back to the fundamentals of life. This is to me the essence of the pandemic learning. Go within. Understand that no matter how low your grades, numerical grades may be, you are intelligent in more ways than one. In more ways than one. Okay, EQ can matter more than IQ. This is already proven. It is not what you say, but how you say it. Napakahalaga ng emotional quotient sa pakikisama sa bahay, sa eskwelahan, o sa mga tao. Napakahalaga. Ang pandemya, para makita mo ang kahulugan niya, ay hindi mo nire-rationalize. Kulang ang rational thinking. Kailangan isa puso mo. Bakit nangyayari ito? Bakit kailangan makadanas ka ng hirap? Makadanas ka ng paglalim ng iyong sarili para makita mo ang kahulugan ng buhay. Okay? Na dati-dati ang mga bagay na mahalaga. Okay? Na bahay na malaki, na hindi naman tahanan, na magagandang higaan, na hindi masarap ang tulog. You realize now that there are more important things in life, and that will be validated by more of our EQ or ating emotional quotient. So again, ang talino, ang tagumpay, ay tatlong bagay. IQ, talino, EQ, ang puso, at DQ, ang diskarte. Diskarte, innovativeness. Okay? Kung traffic sa EDSA, pupunta ka ng monumento, gumamit ka 500. Pareho ang layunin, iba lang pamamaraan. Ganun po ang pag-aaral ngayon. Nagbago lang. Okay? From classroom face-to-face, nagbago lang tayo ng digital platform learning. Ito po ang napakahalaga. Alam mo na yung learning styles, alam mo na yung multiple intelligence, alam mo ang kahalagahan ng EQ, higit sa IQ, the 4 pillars of education in pandemic times. Learning to know, kaalaman, learning to do, action, despite of whatever, action, learning to be, ang pagkatao. Ang pagkatao, napakahalaga. And number 4, learning to live together with others. Aanin mo ang kasaganahan kung nakikita mo naman naghihikahos ang sambayanan. Learn to live with others. Again, learning to know, learning to do, learning to be, and learning to live with others. Life skills for life success. Ito po ang ating focus sa mga darating na webinar. Bago po nag-lockdown, I'm happy to share na sa St. Clair College ay nagbigay na po tayo ng panimula para malaman ng mga magulang, mga estudyante, ng mga teachers, ng admin, ang kahalagahan ng life skills for life success. Now more than ever, nakikita ko ang higit na mas mahalaga natin maunawaan. So huling banda, hindi numerical grade ang magbibigay husga sa pag-unlad mo sa buhay, kundi paano mo isinabuhay ang mga lessons brought about by this pandemic. So yan po, meron po tayong 54 skills na develop, naka-angkla kung paano mo yung develop through time. Okay? So there's something to expect later on. But in essence, ano ba yung life skills? In a summary form, life skills is about nurturing the compassionate heart. Hindi lang ang thinking mind. Kadalasan ginagawa natin, nurturing the thinking mind, then the compassionate heart. Maligtad po ngayon ang totem pole. Nakafocus tayo ngayon, ma-develop yung compassionate heart ng tao at saka ang kanyang katalinuhan. And then, developing essential or what used to be known as soft skills, hindi lang academic skills, wherein we teach not only for memorization, but we will teach for understanding. Because gaya na sabi ko kanina, at the end of the day, you can memorize something, but not exactly comprehend the meaning of that something. With life skills, it will allow you to appreciate the dimensions of appreciating things as they are. We look beyond. And just a tip before I end, what are the 10 skills for the new normal workforce. Ito yung mga katangian na hinahanap ng mga employers sa panahon ngayon. Una, sense-making. Anong pagkakaunawa mo sa mga pangyayari ngayon? Meron ba siyang saysay sa iyo? O doon ka pa rin sa old normal? Number 2, adaptive thinking. Adaptive ba ang iyong pag-iisip? Gaya ko po, sanay ako sa face-to-face. Pero ngayon kailangan ko yakapin ang learning digital way. Makikipag-usap, hindi sa live, kundi sa digital webcam, etc. Number 3, computing skills. Napakahalaga po ngayon yung kaalaman mo sa teknolohiya. Ngayon, pag-uunawa sa intra and interdisciplinary. Kung ang kurso mo ay MAD, kailangan alam mo yung nangyari sa HRM, kailangan alam mo yung nangyari sa ibang kurso. Multidisciplinary, gaya ng iba, na akala nila hindi sila marunong magluto, pero sa pandemic time, nakita nila na meron pala silang abilidad sa culinary. Okay? Kaya yun ang ginagawa nila ng negosyo ngayon. So yung intra-inter, then entrepreneurship. Okay? Pagiging sarili mong boss. Online business, mahalaga. Social intelligence. Wala pa rin pagbabago. Napakahalaga pa rin na i-value mo yung pakikisama. Okay? Network. Hindi lang pang negosyo. Because as you share the gift of yourself, you're enriching the life of other people. And then of course, gaya po ngayon, new media literacy. And I'm proud to say na St. Clair College is now embracing. Kami po yung nasa technology hub ngayon, nasa laboratory, na balang araw, ito po yung magiging studio, simultaneous learning. And it doesn't need to be, hindi mo kailangan maging expensive. Pero sinasabi ko nga, kailangan maliban sa high-tech, ikaw ay high-touch. Huwag kakalilimutan, madali mong i-memorize ang technology, pero kailangan ang puso mo ay ganun pa rin, high-touch. Design mindset. Okay? Hindi ang tombstone, stepping stone niya. Hanapin mo lang ng kalibre kung paano mo siya bubuhayin. Okay? Hindi ang mess. May mensahe yan. Doon gagana ngayon ang design mindset mo. And of course, virtual collaboration. Hindi mo na kailangan pumunta rito physically. In the comfort of your office, in the comfort of your homes, you're watching, live streaming live through Facebook, through Zoom meeting. We're collaborating. We are learning. Okay, without being physically around. And finally, mindful well-being. We redefine success now not only in terms of power and money, but we include the third W, which is well-being. Well-being. Napakahalagang you don't only survive, but you thrive in the midst of all these challenges. So kung meron po kayong mga katanungan na gusto i-clarify sa learning styles, multiple intelligence, please feel free to comment at i-gather po namin yan, and we will be in touch with you as soon as possible. So if you want to email me, you can email directly, and I normally respond to questions, to comments. Sa Facebook po, every now and then, almost every day, I don't post for personal posterity. Normally when I post, I see to it that it has a lesson to learn. They always say that YOLO, you only live once. My thinking is YOLO, you only die once. That's why you die meaningfully. Die meaningfully. Be happy to be part of the exciting episode in human history, to be part of the COVID-19 experience. Because 100 years from now, tayo na po ang pag-uusapan ng sanlibutan. Yung ginagawa natin ng pag-a-adjust sa tinatawag na new normal. So once again, nakapasalamat ako sa St. Clair College for this webinar opportunity, and this will not be the first and the last, but this is just a continuing, the start of a continuing education format with you. as we travel the world of education, as we learn using virtual collaboration, using the platform of technology, as we learn the importance of life, of IQ, EQ, and DQ. So once again, from the bottom of my heart, thank you very much. Stay safe, let's follow protocol, and continue living. Enjoy the fullness of life. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dr. Tinidero, for giving us an opportunity to introspect and for educating us with your remarkably informative discussion. We are deeply honored to have with us today the highly esteemed President and Chairman of the St. Clair Group of Schools. Dear viewers, let us lend our ears to the inspirational message of our President, Dr. Clarita G. Adale.
I'm overwhelmed of the attendance of the webinar. I'm not supposed to talk now, but I want to express my emotions. And you have heard from Dean Henry Tinidero about this EQ. And I really want to express my emotions. There's gladness in my heart. This webinar is so relevant. And we are very lucky indeed to have Dean Tinidero, who is an expert, to talk on this topic. Thousands of students and parents are here in streamlining of the webinar. This is a memorable event. I wish you are safe away from the COVID-19. Let's always remember that health is so necessary that we don't want a face-to-face learning. Mga magulang, mga mag-aaral, binabati ko kayo na napili ninyo ang online or virtual learning. Malayo tayo sa pandemya, malayo tayo sa COVID-19, at di maglalaon, malayo ang sakit na ito sa awan ng Panginoong Hesus. Maraming salamat sa inyong lahat.
Dr. Claire, for that heartwarming, inspirational message. Before this episode comes to an end, let us hear a heartfelt message from our college Assistant Dean, Miss Mary Joy Aquino.
Good day, everyone. I would like to acknowledge the presence of the following distinguished people who graced the first episode of our webinar series. The program heads and coordinator, Mr. Marlo De Chavez of BS HRM Department, Ms. Christine Marie Cruz of BS Tourism Department, Ms. Teresita Solidum of the Education Department, Ms. Renilda Martinez of BS Business Administration Department, Ms. Joy Naturales of BS Computer Science Department, Mr. Jonathan Mendoza, the Principal of Better Children of St. Clair Montessori Center in Liliasville, Ms. Cristina Bergado, the Basic Education Principal, Ms. Rebecca Palad, the Senior High School Principal, Dr. Catherine Pagulayan, St. Clair College Guidance Counselor, Dr. Rose Lita Montarde, Research Director, Attorney Petronilo Alarcon, Political Science Department Head and Director of the Office of the Student Affairs Services. Special mention goes to the members of the Board of Trustees, Ms. Jane Angela Adalem, Assistant to the President, Mr. J. Peter Adalem, the Officer for Center of Arts and Culture, Mr. Ray Francis Adalem, the Quality Assurance Officer, Mr. J. Philip Adalem, Officer for International Relations and Networking, Mr. J. Patrick Adalem, Assistant to the Vice President for Finance, Mr. Ray Jonathan Adalem, Assistant to the Vice President for Academic Affairs, Mr. Ray Christopher Adalem. So we have the Assistant to the Vice President for Admin and Student Services, Attorney J. Paolo Adalem, the Legal Officer and the Board Secretary, Dr. Ernesto J. G. Adalem, the CEO and Vice President for Finance, Dr. Ernesto Ray G. Adalem, CEO and Vice President for Administration and Student Services, Dr. Clarita G. Adalem, President and Founder of St. Clair Group of Schools, Dean Henry S. Tenedero, our keynote speaker for today. To the faculty and staff of St. Clair Group of Schools, thank you for your support. And to everyone out there, parents and students who join us through live streaming today, thank you so much. We look forward to have you until the last episode of our webinar series. Maraming salamat po.
Thank you, Ma'am Joy Aquino, for recognizing the efforts and contributions of the pillars of our institution. And ladies and gentlemen, join us in singing the St. Clair hymn. privilege to be with you in this virtual platform. We hope you have gained a broader understanding of St. Clair College and its advocacy to promote heart-to-heart home learning. Thank you for taking time to join us today, and see you tomorrow on episode 2. Have a great day ahead, keep safe, and God bless us all.